Well, welcome to the BNI Effect, the home of amazing conversations with Brisbane BNI members sharing tips on how you can get the most out of your BNI membership. I'm Tony Meredith, and ordinarily I'm a business coach, but today I'm your host and fellow BNI member, bringing you yet another exciting BNI podcast. This is episode number 67, and today's guest is Anne Meagher. G'day, Anne. How are you?
Good, Tony. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Well, look, why don't we kick it off by you giving us an overview of who you are, your business, and the main services or products that you provide?
So, I am with a firm called SV Partners. So, we are insolvency accountants, and I have been with them for going on 24 years now, believe it or not. We are insolvency specialists, and we're a national firm. So, basically, chartered accountants, but within our group is a lot of bankruptcy trustees and liquidators. And so, we basically look after companies and individuals when they have financial difficulties, sometimes to try and turn them around, sometimes to put some proposals to creditors, and sometimes to just bring things to an orderly close. So, a lot of voluntary sort of appointments rather than bank driven, and so it's kind of nice because through accountants and solicitors, the people come to us and want us there, which I find a lot nicer than I previously worked in a firm where it was involuntary, and this you get more cooperation with people when they want to do it with you. So anyway, that's what we do. We're all over Australia, mainly Eastern Seaboard, and we've been going for about 24 years. So I joined, I don't know, maybe 23 years. I joined before that and rolled into them. Yeah.
Right, so you've pretty much been there the whole time, and you said
Yep.
that you sort of focus on the Eastern Seaboard. Where are you based, Anne? And sort of where is your, I suppose, area of specialty geographic area?
Yeah, so I am in Brisbane and Toowoomba. So I come to Toowoomba 2 days a week, and we have an office here. That's where I am right now, in chilly Toowoomba. It's 8 degrees at the moment, but it's lovely around here. We do a lot of sort of agricultural sort of work, and a lot of family, small to medium sort of family sized businesses. The rest of the time I'm in Brisbane, but we have offices all over Queensland, and we do tend to have a bit of a regional focus. So we have a Mackay office, Rockhampton, Townsville, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, and I'm trying to think there's something else, but it's sort of everywhere around Queensland. But then, yeah, Sydney, Melbourne, and then South Australia and WA now. So we sort of cover as much as we can that area. Yeah.
Yeah, and have you noticed over the last few years an increase in the demand for your services, just given some of the tough economic climate that Australia's gone through?
Yeah, so at the moment, it's probably, I feel like it's the busiest we've been in a while. We obviously had the COVID patch, which coming into COVID, we were busy, but then because of all the government relief and assistance, and obviously everyone hurting because they couldn't open businesses, the ATO relaxed on debt collection, and a lot of our work is driven by the ATO, especially in the voluntary space. So we didn't have as much going on then, and then in the last, I guess, year or year and a half, the ATO is back trying to reduce their debt levels and trying to rein in some of that. So we are a lot busier now. It's good though because there is, I guess, a bit of momentum to clean up that debt and get some sort of payments back to the ATO. So we've got this whole regime that's come through for the small to medium businesses, called the Small Business Restructure. And even though I was probably a doubter at the start of that, it's been a massive success with small to medium businesses in getting proposals to creditors that potentially weren't available previously. So that's a bit exciting. That sort of work means the business survives, and that's a bit better than the alternative. Obviously, that we do also do a lot of shutdown, game over sort of liquidation work, but this is a bit more uplifting in the restructural space.
Yeah, and I would imagine that you're dealing with people at a pretty low period in their life. So I would envisage that even though your role would be primarily the accounting side, the financial side, but I mean there'd be a bit of counselling go on, I suppose, Anne.
Yeah, it's a lot of, I think that's why I do it, to be honest. I think I'm more a talking accountant than a numbers accountant. And we do cash flows and forecasts and assess financials, but a lot of it is sitting with a family and talking through the options. And when you get there, people are probably at the lowest you've seen them, but you see some amazing things when a family sits around a table and talks about how to get through it. And like it's really quite uplifting when you see three generations of, say, farmers that are trying to get out the other side, or three, a big family sit together and make a plan on how to stop, I guess, this debt, and how to make some sort of inroads and how to find a future past that. So some of it is just finding a way to bring it to a head and have some sort of future that doesn't mean they're watching the bank account at midnight to try and pay the wages the next day. So
Mm.
it is like heaps of counseling. I do a lot of talking. It's but I mean I really quite enjoy that part of it. It's and some of the people you see there, when you walk away, you feel like you've actually helped. So that's good. We don't always get that from our industry, but I think we're doing a lot of that in that small to medium space.
Good on you. Yeah, I could imagine it'd be very rewarding for you. Like you said, see people in a really low space and then, help them through, when you can perhaps see an option and maybe they can't. So thank you for sharing. So been in with the company for 24 odd years. You're in BNI. That's why we're here, the BNI Effect podcast. How long you been in BNI for, Anne?
7 years now. So I
Right.
I joined through a friend who's the regular accountant, the tax accountant in the group, and he brought me along the first time. So I didn't actually think it was 7 years, but I just got my little ribbon the other day. So there you go.
Well, firstly, congratulations on the 7 year anniversary. What was it about that first meeting that encouraged you to join up?
Um, I mean, we've got a group that is really quite a positive group anyway, but it was just something different, I think. When I've done a lot of networking over the years, but it's usually driven around, a lunch or drinks or a training session or something. And this was a different sort of structure, but, very structured in what you're trying to achieve. Personal development, business development, but also referrals as well. So I just thought it was a bit different in that respect. And I really have met people that I probably wouldn't have met and become friends with because, I tend to work with accountants and solicitors. And now I have this whole other network of people, which has been really quite lovely too. Yeah.
And how has being part of a BNI chapter influenced your approach to networking, Anne?
I think it gives you a bit more confidence. I mean, I'm a terrible public speaker in front of a big group, and I was petrified of our 60 seconds, and then the 10 minutes. I would nearly have heart palpitations over that one. And so it's really been. It has improved my ability to walk into a room and just talk to someone, I think, and find some sort of common interest between people. So it's been great for that. But like if you saw me 7 years ago, I really would just, I didn't want to do it at all. And now I quite enjoy, not necessarily the public speaking, but just getting in a room with all these people and hearing what they have to do versus what my week has entailed. That's quite interesting too. So it's the structure of it is what probably has kept me there. Yep.
So, but over that time, I would imagine that your ability to speak publicly has definitely improved, right? And so, from that first time when you're in there being told you've got to speak for a minute, or the first time you had to do your 10-minute feature presentation through to where you are 7 years later, I would imagine that you've improved along the way.
Yeah, I don't run away from public speaking now, and I probably did then. I probably did then. I still sometimes struggle to get it in the time limits, but I think it's definitely given me massive confidence. I have to do a couple of talks a year just for an International Women's Day group function that I organise, and a couple of other things. And even though I'm still a little nervous, it's a lot easier than it was. Yeah, yeah. It's like anything, practice, I think. You just got to keep practicing.
Of course. How do you measure the success of your participation in BNI? Are there any specific metrics or stories that highlight your success, Anne?
I kind of tell this one a bit, but I mean, it is, we, during the time that I've been there, my husband and I had a house, we sold the house and then we rented for a little while we figured out what we wanted to do when we bought a unit. And literally my real estate person in the group was the one that sold the house and then helped us buy our unit. And when we bought the unit, I literally leaned on just about everyone in the chapter. So I sort of look at it like that and think if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have had an electrician that could have come and looked at things. And I definitely had a building and pest guy just check out everything for me. And my real estate friend held my hand through an auction process and various other things, and the mortgage broker got us our finance, and the accountant is my accountant. So it's, like it in those I guess situations that are massively stressful and big life moments, to be able to rely on so many people and feel, one, I know them personally, I trust them. That's pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Made it a lot easier. Yeah.
Well, it's about peace of mind, isn't it? And you touched on trust. And I mean, that's one of the beauties around BNI is that over time, because you're meeting people regularly, whether it be in a group setting, whether it be an individual setting, you're really getting to know them, getting to like them, and ultimately getting to trust them. And so when you have those big life moments, so you described, it's amazing to know that you've got this team of people around you that you can rely on when you need them the most.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I think I definitely use our chapter for that quite a lot. I mean, previously the conveyancing, but also just, the electrician we recommend to people everywhere, the dentist we all go to. It's quite it's quite amazing how when you go to a meeting with someone and they say, "Oh, I don't quite have someone I can rely on. I'm looking to get a mortgage." We're like, we've got someone for you. So that is nice, and they will bend over backwards to make sure that they service your clients well. So it's really, yeah, it's a nice feeling to be able to do that.
How has your business evolved since joining BNI, and what role has networking played in that growth?
It's grown quite a bit because we're getting work from different sources, I guess, other than the typical sources. And I would say probably from the finance arm of our chapter at the moment, I've had more inquiry from them, but also it's enabled me to in our space do some things with the finance group that probably I didn't think we could do before, which is quite uplifting, and get some wins in jobs that maybe we wouldn't have had before. So I guess one example is we have in the bankruptcy space often there's a husband and wife, there's a a home, well, it could be two partners of any description, but we have a family home and one partner bankrupt, and we are trying to save the family house. And through the mortgage broker and the finance that we have in our chapter, we've been able to, I guess, have the other party gain some finance that they can save the family home and purchase the interest. So we haven't had as much sort of success with that with your mainstream lenders, but definitely having the brokers there that can go to a number of different arms has been really quite amazing. So it's really helped streamline some of our jobs. Yeah.
What advice would you give to new BNI members to make the most out of their membership?
Just give it a go and keep trying. Like it is scary at first. And I think now I look back and I see the new people walk in and I think, oh wow, that was me. And I'm still, none of us, you don't just achieve this easily. Like we're still all a bit nervous when we get up, but it's probably just acknowledging that everyone in the room was there at some point, and they're all there to help each other. And it is an easy way to meet a group of people and have a focus on referrals. And I think networking is not easy for some people. This is quite an easy way to do it. So yeah, just give it a go and keep trying, and you keep going back, it gets easier.
And when you say it's an easy way to do it, what are you referring to, Anne?
Typical networking is randomly walking into a function and you have to introduce yourself, and there is no structure to it. And so you could just stand literally against a wall for the whole night and not talk to anyone, or talk to the mate that you brought with you, and then go home and say, oh well, I did it. This is, this is because of the formal structure of it, that there is an interaction immediately, and because of the one-to-ones, you effectively, you have to go and meet people and learn something about them, and so the structure makes it easier for you to make a connection. That's probably what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
What's next for your business? Any exciting projects or expansions on the horizon?
No, I was trying to think of this earlier, and I was like, I think really we're just trying to keep. I mean, we've grown quite a lot in the last few years, and now it's just trying to continue to deliver service, and continue to concentrate on those regional areas that we've spent a lot of time in, but probably get some more people in the regional areas because we tend to still have a lot of the work done out of Brisbane. It's not a problem these days anyway, but I think just to keep that going, and just make sure that we are looking after the people that bring us the work too. Just the service level has to be maintained because the volume is high, but just keeping that service level there is probably our main focus at the moment. Not any massive growth in the future, I don't think, just stabilizing a bit. Yeah.
And how do you see your relationship with BNI evolving as your business grows into the future?
I think it complements it. So I think I mean I didn't I guess I had not realized it had been 7 years, but I've made some great friends in there, and I was speaking to someone just about an hour ago. And so that, like, we have a very social network. We do a lot of things together, but we're also about looking after each other. And there's been, like anything, it becomes part of your family, and so it just complements what we're doing, and they get work, we get work, and it all works quite nicely. But it's been an enjoyable process so far.
And will continue for many years to come. If
Yeah.
you could share one piece of wisdom with our listeners or our viewers, Anne, whether they be BNI members or not, what would that be?
Well, probably just make sure that you have some sort of networking in your average week. Like, I thought when I first joined BNI that the weekly commitment was going to be really tough. And some weeks it is. Some weeks it really is. And I think sometimes with the lawyers in the group, just getting there and managing, court appointments and the like is tough. But if you make the commitment, it's definitely, you get the reward, and having it front of mind once a week. I mean, often I walk into the room and think, oh, I don't really know what I'm entirely going to say or what I'm going to be able to deliver today. But during that, hour or hour and a half, I have something come to mind that there is someone in the room that I can use. So it's just, even if it's not BNI, just having some form of networking, because it definitely does help you develop as a person, but also help your business grow. Yeah.
How can listeners learn more about your business or get in touch with you, Anne?
Well, you can come to our chapter if you like to. So we're at BNI Riverside, so you're more than welcome to come on a Wednesday morning. But otherwise, we have a website, so it's svpartners.com.au, and otherwise my mobile and details are on there. So welcome to reach out or text me or call me or whatever you like. I'm not as good on the social media, but I'm definitely on the emails.
Well, and you said to me at the start of this is your first podcast, so congratulations, we've made it through, so well done. You mentioned that you're at BNI Riverside on a Wednesday. Where do you meet, just in case one of the viewers or listeners is interested in coming along, Anne?
So we're at the United Services Club up in Spring Hill, and it's lovely actually. It's a nice old building, and there's parking at the back, and it's pretty easy to get in and out of. So apparently the breakfast is really good too. I'm more a coffee in the morning, but they all enjoy the breakfast. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Anne. Well, look, that wraps up another episode of the BNI Effect. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion, and I want to extend a massive heartfelt thank you to Anne Meagher for sharing her insights with us. If you found value in today's episode, please remember to subscribe to the BNI Effect on your favourite podcast platform or leave us a review. Until next time, thank you for listening.